What's going on, guys? We're back with another one, just kind of getting a little bit of music going first before we get into this lesson. Awesome. Well, this is Joshua Zitting from joshuazittingfit.com. If you guys haven't yet, please tap the little number and share this with your social media. This is going to be a fun little lesson real quick. Teaching you guys how to quickly gain 10 pounds of quality muscle or how to lose 10 pounds fast. So again, if you haven't yet, definitely take time to share it with your social media. So basically, let's talk about a couple of things. I've got our whiteboard out. We're going to make this really, really simple. So there's a couple of things that basically you want to pay attention to when you are looking at losing weight. Now, DCE, your daily calorie expenditure, is basically where the amount of calories that you're consuming per day, or basically your daily limit for what's going to keep you at your just base rate. Okay, that's what the 8-week shred teaches you, is how to find this calculation to where you know exactly the amount of calories that you need per day just to maintain. Okay, because once you have that number, so let's say, for instance, my daily calorie expenditure, let's say it's 3,000 calories per day. Okay, that means for me to gain a pound of muscle, I would be basically needing to eat 3,500 calories a day, which would be, if you times that by 7 days, right? So you're looking at basically 3,500 calories, okay, which is 1 pound. So anytime you're trying to put on muscle, you guys, you have to be in a calorie surplus, meaning you need to be eating more calories than you're burning. So essentially, it's really, really simple math once you find that base rate of your calories. So basically what you want to do, if 3,500 calories per day is going to put me at 1 pound per week, then basically, you know, after 8 weeks, I'm going to put on about 8 pounds of lean mass. Now here's where some people go wrong, is they try to overdo it. In fact, you'll see a lot of these guys that are eating 4,500, 5,500 calories and they're in bulking mode. But what you need to realize is that you're also going to gain a lot of fat when you're overdoing it that way. So I'm showing you the calculation to actually do it and do it in a lean mass fashion to where you're not putting on a bunch of poor weight. It's actually good, lean, quality mass over time. So finding your daily calorie expenditure is basically no different than if you were not to get out of bed and you didn't do anything. That's how many calories your body is still going to burn for the day. So once you have that number, then basically you can break down and reverse engineer how long of a time frame do you have. So during the 8-week shred, we basically go over how many pounds do you want to lose during that 8 weeks. And basically what I can show you guys, and on average what's typically been happening, is about 13 to 16 pounds that we have people losing on the 8-week shred program. So essentially the next thing that you want to look at is TUT, which is time under tension. So when you're training, you know, the key thing that you want to look at is time under tension. So tension is basically, and I'm not a speller, you guys, so I apologize. But tension is basically the amount of time that you're taking going through a rep. So essentially, if you're doing, say, 4 seconds on the decline and then powering through, right? That's the amount of time under tension that you're putting your muscle under tension. One problem that most people have is when they're working out, they're just throwing weights around. They're not actually engaging the muscle and actually focusing on the contraction. But that's really important, you guys, when trying to put on lean quality mass, is that you're basically paying attention to the contraction, your eccentric phase, everything. So now with weight loss, you guys, this can be taken as the same thing. So let's say you find your daily caloric rate to be 2,500 calories per day, then to lose a pound a week, you basically need to be on a 2,000 calorie per day diet. But how many of you guys have been on a diet that's super low in calories, and by like week 2, you're literally like banging your head against the wall because you're so fucking frustrated you want food, right? So trust me, I've been there. We've all been there where we've done low calorie diets that by the time you hit, say, week 2, you're so hungry or frustrated with the caloric intake that you end up going and splurging, and then you screw up your whole diet. That's why the 8-week shred is focused on carb cycling, you guys, because basically what happens is you allow yourself to deplete yourself of those carbohydrates during certain days, depending upon your training. And what happens is when you do that, you're allowing your body to burn fat. But then on the days that you have a high carb day, you're allowing your body to actually rebuild and put on muscle as well. So the nice thing about the 8-week shred is it goes over 3 different diet phases that teach you about carb cycling, intermittent fasting, and just regular dieting techniques that would just be a typical like low calorie diet. And the thing about carb cycling that I speak so highly of is simply because we've all hit those walls before. And so when you're doing carb cycling, the nice thing is you don't ever hit that wall. You will experience on your high carb days the following day after that you're going to be a little bit more hungry, because what happens is when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, your body is actually looking for those carbohydrates the next day. Your blood sugar level's a little bit out of whack. But the nice thing about carb cycling is that you have a couple days where you're going low carbohydrates and a day where you're going high carbohydrate. And the nice thing about it is that instead of having these huge dips and spikes in your blood sugar level, it's staying more at a kind of a level motion. So you're not having the huge spikes and the massive frustration that most people have when they're dieting. And that's why I speak so highly about carb cycling. And if you guys haven't gone to joshwasittingfit.com, check out the article that I wrote about carb cycling and the breakdown of how it actually works and the science behind it, because it's pretty incredible how it works. And so once you find your daily calories, so if you're at 2,500 calories a day and we're cutting you down to say 2,000 calories per day, that's going to be about a pound a week. Now, if you wanted to step that up and lose more weight, you have two options, okay? I typically say do a little bit more cardio, right? And drop your calories maybe 100, 200 calories per day. Because again, you don't want to drop your calories too low or your body's going to go into burning your muscle rather than your fat. So it's a fine line that you're dancing, but that's why I always say make small incremental changes. So I'd rather you change your calories just slightly and up your cardio slightly. Don't go into you don't need to go do an hour of cardio on top of your workouts. That's unnecessary. Trust me. You can eat food. You can do this without being hungry. You just have to eat the right types of foods. And the nice thing about gaining muscle is as long as you're not out there eating a bunch of shitty calories, you can go 500 to 1,000 calories over what your daily expenditure is. And you'll be putting on lean mass as long as you're lifting heavy and following the training routine that's basically put in place as well. So with that, if you guys haven't checked it out, 8weekshred.com, that's basically our website. joshwasittingfit.com has a full thing that breaks down exactly what it is, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and we're having a ton of success with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. And if you have any questions, definitely follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I have my YouTube channel as well. It's under Joshua Zitting. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.